it's pretty clear that the left is declaring war on the right. And I know that sounds crazy, and everyone's gonna say, "Hey, you're exaggerating. You're saying you're hyperbolic, right?" But it's not the case. I'm sorry. We have so much evidence now to prove what kind of nonsense has been going on by the left, and all of the corruption and everything that they've been bringing in year after year after year. And then we pretend it's like it's even, like it's fair, like when we win elections, like it's actually a fair thing. Do you guys do you guys forget, or did you not remember the whole thing that was the campaign of Trump this time, which was too big to rig because they had rigged, allegedly, the last one? And the sad part is, because there's stupid groups out there that'll sue you, you have to actually say allegedly, when everyone that's a normal thinking person understands that they rigged the last few elections, or at least try to. Let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you so much for watching. I'd keep doing that. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. So to start off with, the reactions to what is happening right now is what's escalating everything just insanely high. It's just taking everything even that much further. And it's showing that they really truly are declaring war on the right. They have been winning for such a long time, the games that were being played, that when we started to beat them at their own game and bringing truth to the front, and honestly, a lot of microphones like this one have helped tremendously with that. Independent media like the Daily Wire, whether you like them or not, The Blaze, whether you like them or not, Tim Pool, whether you like him or not, a lot of those kind of things have helped to dramatically change it, so that the people are not just hearing the news from the same old sources that they used to get it, where unbeknownst to us for a very long time, I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, I would look at the news thinking that the news is the news, right? I mean, what could be dishonest about the news? Not realizing just how bad the narratives and everything has been for such a long time, that it's absolutely crazy when you go back and you think about it. Well, they're losing that, right? And so because they're losing that, they're now ratcheting everything up, and now they're letting the cat out of the bag. They're just saying what they're thinking. And first is the reaction to the shooting of Renee. That's the lady that was in the SUV that tried to hit the officer, or didn't try to hit the officer. It kind of depends. There's actually new footage that came out from the perspective of the officer that shot her. And I don't know why, but the media, and I actually got this one from Not the Bee. I actually kind of like them as a source. They're really nice. But Not the Bee, and it shows the footage of it, and like, well, she locked eyes with him. From what I can tell, still, my opinions are not changed. I think she was trying to get away. Okay. Doesn't change the fact that he should have shot her. And it's terrible to say these kind of things, but he should have shot her. And every person who reaches for a cop or ICE's gun should be shot. The ones that get pepper sprayed in the face are lucky. You do things that are unsafe. And just so you guys understand, and for those of us that I live in California now, but for those of people that live in California don't understand just what the level of that is. When you go, for example, I got my concealed carry back in Indiana at one point. They take you through the courses and all that stuff that you have to go through, and they explain to you just how dangerous your weapon is, not in your hands. How dangerous your weapon is in someone else's hands. Meaning, if I get into a fight with someone and I'm concealed carrying, which I don't do in California because obviously I don't have a permit here, but I did in Indiana. If you do those kind of things, okay, then the physical altercation has to be at a level of the gun. Because if I get into a fight with somebody and he's bigger than me and he beats the snot out of me and takes my gun, he now has a weapon he can hurt other people with, and I don't know his character. Okay, I don't know what he's going to do with it. And the same applies to the police. In fact, in Indiana, what the local sheriff had told us is you're supposed to they don't call it brandishing, but it's giving the awareness of the situation, of the threat level. Meaning if someone's getting all up in my face and getting all crazy, they recommended, while you're saying, hey, calm down, you say, just be very careful, guys. Just be very careful. You would pull it out and hold it in front of you and saying, hey, I don't want any troubles. I don't want any problems. Why? You're not threatening the person, but what you're showing the person is, I have a gun. If we get into an altercation, your threat level is not my fist, it's my gun, and I'm trying to warn you so that you are not in severe danger. When these officers are out there with their guns and their weapons that they need to protect us, and they need to protect us from you nutcases, okay? When you reach for their gun, or you try to hurt them, you should be shot. Sorry. That's the threat level. I would expect that if I got into a pulled over for a ticket or something and I tried to reach for the officer's gun. I would expect that. Only lunatic idiots don't expect that kind of stuff. Get over yourself. The cops have a right to defend themselves. Well, that's the whole thing with regards to Renee. Then there was the shooting in Portland with the two people, and they called them husband and wife, and they were making it sound like it's this happy family and how they're struggling so hard to defend themselves and survive out there while they're both illegals. One is a trendy Aragua member. The other one's like a prostitute. And they tried to run over police with a truck. I wonder where they got that idea from. You're saying that when someone tried to run over a cop, or at least it looked that way from certain angles, and all the lefties come out encouraging that and saying that was a good thing and that she should have been able to defend herself and just pushing harder, that caused more violence? Yes, the left will cause more violence because this is what it's about. They have declared war and they really, 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 really want to destroy us. And we've got to understand that. Now, the reaction to this one and the first one tells you everything you need to know. There's a congresswoman, I forget what her name is, Janelle something or another, and she reacted with it by calling it an act of what did she say? State-sponsored terrorism. ICE shooting, not even fatally, shooting two people who tried to kill them with a truck. Literally tried to, in full-on intent this time, okay? Full-on intent this time, trying to kill them with a truck was an act of terrorism, government-sponsored terrorism. You need to go to jail. When you're calling out the actions of police like that, as a congressperson, you need to go to jail. Why? Because that kind of thing incites violence. It's not a freedom of speech issue. Freedom of speech is you can say whatever you want to on a private area. I don't care. I really don't care. I'll go for it as long as you're not inciting violence there too. But when you are saying it officially and it has your congressional seal on all that kind of stuff, you're saying that it's us versus them. And in the response that she had was absolutely asinine stuff, telling people to get out there, get stepping out there. What are you calling for? You're calling for action of people that you just called terrorists. You're calling for violence. She should go to jail. I'm sorry. I'm tired of people calling for violence and just getting away with it. Now, hopefully, it's not going to end that way. And then Whoopi, this is what's killing me. Whoopi has not been famous for a long time. I mean, I think she's mostly famous for saying stupid stuff now. But Whoopi Goldberg, okay, goes off calling on NATO to free us. NATO? Does anyone in the lefties of this world, knock, knock, are you there? Do you guys not understand how NATO works? I'm not even saying about how the paperwork and the legalities of NATO work. I'm talking about financially, militarily, how NATO works. Do you understand that we own the skies? We own the GPSs. If we turn off all the satellites tomorrow, which we have, by the way, no military, besides like China and a few other places that are putting up their own satellites and stuff, would be able to operate. Those guided missiles and all that kind of stuff don't work. Okay? America can turn the lights off to all of that. Remember that when you're on our side. All those countries that are getting too big for their britches out there, and I'll get to Denmark in a second, getting a little too big for your britches, remember who Big Brother is. Okay? Remember who he is. Now, thankfully, my brother's a little short guy, so I don't know how to call him Big Brother. But Tim Walz then calling originally, like last year I think was calling ICE Gestapo, and then now, of course, he didn't say it right. You have to say it. He obviously did not watch Hogan's Heroes growing up. Okay, I know he's pretty old. Maybe it was before his time, or he was before that time. But Gestapo, he did call him the right, but he was calling ICE and federal agents Gestapo because and what picture does that paint? What picture does that paint in people's minds when you're calling people that are law enforcement doing the job that is their job that they're called to do, and it's a safety thing, guys. If you don't want police, you're an idiot. Because, okay, what is the first thing that goes through your mind when someone speeds past you recklessly and doing something stupid? And I don't care. Even the lefties have to feel this in their brain. What is the first thing you think of? Where's the cops when this happens? Oh, so you mean you want cops to take care of it when bad people are doing bad things? Yep. So in that case, When you call them out and you say that they're Gestapo, what you're saying is that they're a almost satanic group of people. What are you calling for? What are you calling for? As everyone says, if someone's Hitler, what would you have done if you had had the chance to take out Hitler? That's the threat level that you're putting up there. And then him hinting at civil war, him hinting at literal civil war, saying that he's going to be using the National Guard to defend against the federal agents. And Tim Walz may or may not have crossed the legal line. That's how crazy it is. He may or may not have actually crossed the legal line of insurrection at this point. And I'm not even saying that lightly. I'm just saying because the way he was saying things and the way he was putting it out there as to how he was going to use the National Guard, it very much could be against the supremacy clause. Now, this is just one bit of it. Then you have those people that are the mayors and so on that are saying, get the blank out of our areas. We don't want you. You know why you don't want them, Mayor? Because all those illegals vote for you. I'm just going to say it. Okay? The illegals come in. Here's the deal. You tell them, vote for the Democrats and we'll give you free food, free housing, and free money to spend on Gucci glasses like those idiot Somali people that were doing those daycares, or Gucci or whatever it was, Coach. I don't know, one of those stupid brands. And they offer them this kind of money, and who do you think they vote for? Democrats. Democrats don't want ICE because they don't want their voting base being removed. And don't even give me this whole thing of, well, you can't prove it. Yes, you can. Okay? I can go back to Steven Crowder showing time after time after time after time after time after the 2020 election, showing how many times there is false addresses with no one there. And yet so many people registered to vote from those places that all voted actively in the election and voted for the Democratic Party. One side's doing massive fraud, and I will agree. Maybe there is some fraud that happens on the conservative side, on the right side. But I would say it's probably 1 in 1 million compared to what the Democrats do. Almost guaranteed. You guys are perverted. You guys are messed up. You guys are destructive, unholy. You guys are wicked. And you don't care because you want power, money, and control. And you'll do everything to do that. Whether it tears this country down, apart, doesn't matter to you. As long as you hold your power and you hold your money. And you're openly now declaring war on us. And I think it's about time we fight back. About time we push back and say, you know what, fine. You want war? We'll give you war. And the war that we will wage will be the war of intelligence, of doing everything right to the T, to the dotted I, making sure that we do everything correct and reaching each person that we can, one person at a time, reaching them. Because if we can change the hearts of this world, and this is what's happening. We saw this in the last few elections with Trump. If we can change the hearts of the people of this world, we can change the elections. And they're terrified by the truth. They are terrified by the truth. Because we can give the truth out and they can't. And the truth will set you free. And it has set so many people free that have been fed the pack of lies from the left. And if we can get more of this media, this is why this is so important. And I cannot tell you enough. I have 103 subscribers. I'm so excited, guys. But this is why it's so important to get my voice and more voices like mine out there. Because if we can get more voices like ours out there and big and just push them so that more and more people are seeing it, the more and more people that will be attracted to maybe my style of approach, even if they don't necessarily agree with me, may be convinced. But if you keep letting them have no choice but the big news medias that are out there like CNN, MSNBC, and all these other places, they're lost forever. And then the Danish troops were told by their PM, as a total different thing, the Danish troops were told by the PM to shoot first and ask questions later if America invades Greenland. But the funniest part about this thing is, according to the NATO charter, and apparently some of the treaty stuff that's been going on, I forget what exactly, I was looking into it, but America has the right to station as many troops as they want in Greenland, build as many bases as they want in Greenland. So I would just say we should just take it over passively. I mean, you just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're just building bases. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just bringing people in there. We're allowed to. And eventually you'll just have so much military hardware and everything there that you basically own it anyways. I mean, why pay the rent? Why pay rent and pay benefits? If they want to fight over it, fine, cool. We just get to take the place anyways. So why not use it? Like, guys, I don't know what NATO is even thinking. And honestly, I got a little question for you, PM. Do you want to be the Danish serviceman who's standing there while our Delta Force and SEALs and Rangers and tanks are rolling up that decides to shoot the first shot? Do you? Because I'm telling you, honey, you can go stand next to him. Wouldn't work out very well. And I don't even think we should use force, but I just think the situation is hysterical. Treasury Secretary Besant came out with not a strong enough stance. The right is celebrating this, and it's not a good enough stance. It's not good enough. What he's saying is that if anyone sends money overseas, there's a box you'll have to check if you get assistance, saying that you don't get assistance if you send money overseas. And I'm like, wow, okay, so they're not going to lie on the box? Really? We're putting a little box and hoping that they'll lie on them, they'll out themselves? No. What needs to be traced is go back in time, because now that they know, they'll be very careful, and instead of sending money themselves, they'll give it to their sister, their brother, their nephew, their cousin, and whoever to send it overseas. No, you go back in time right now and you investigate how many of these people have sent money while they're on assistance overseas, and what you do is you take and get rid of their assistance. Cut it off. I don't care. Have them have to go find private charity. You're done. You steal from us. You're done. Get them out of the country. Denaturalize. Trump was talking about it. Denaturalize them. There's no forgiveness for this crap. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference for people that come in here and they're trying to get their family in, and we can go case by case. I'm not opposed to that. Go case by case and figure it out. But there's a huge difference in that than the thousands and millions of dollars that have been sent overseas to prop up other countries at our expense, from our assistance. No, you don't get to do that. That's why I'm excited about the new AG. They're bringing on a new attorney general for the United States to handle fraud. Good. About time. Why have we not been doing this? Get our act together. We need to do this so that we can actually get rid of all this junk that's going to hold us back, just in case we go to war. We wouldn't have money to go to war with because how crazy this is. And as a last thing, the USDA pulls all federal funds from Minnesota. And I think that's appropriate. I think it's appropriate. About time. Good. You have so much corruption that you have to step down basically as a governor of your state. That's how bad the state is. Then you should lose all federal funding. Done. You want to cheat, steal, and do all that from our federal funding? Pull it. And then see how many Democrats collapse because they can't get enough donations. And then you'll see that cycle that we saw with USAID, where when we pulled USAID, all of a sudden, all of these Congress people and senators from the Democratic side couldn't get enough money together. Wait, what? So we're literally giving them the money to prop up their political crap. Enough of this. Enough. And I'm still waiting for the judge on this one. There's going to be some little judge in like little Podunksville nowhere going, well, actually, administration, you can't pull your federal funding. We're going to force you to pay. Probably what's going to happen. Hopefully it makes it to the Supreme Court, and hopefully the Supreme Court does it right. We shouldn't pay people that fraud us. We shouldn't allow them to stay in our country. We should get rid of them. And you're no citizen of the United States when you're on the take and never on the give. This is an entire slap in the face for every naturalized citizen that has gone to war for us. For every naturalized citizen that has given their life for us. For every naturalized citizen that had to put up with a junk of World War II when Japanese Americans were put in prison camps. And some of them still volunteered to go fight for us. Tell us you're the same. Go ahead. The type of human being that you are isn't a human being. It's crap. Enough. And that's why they are declaring war on us. And it's time we fight back. And we need to win. And how we win is by this kind of message getting out there. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with other people so that we can get the word out there to other people around us, get the truth out there, and that channels that we can build from this channel or from other channels that are similar to mine can get out there. Let's do more. Thank you so much for watching.